Morning all. According to my phone, it says we're live, and the Hoover's just come at the same time. Hope you're all right. Been a while since done one of these, seems like it anyway. This morning we're going to be building one of these, or part of one of these. It might take us 2 sessions, because probably it'll take a couple of 3 hours perhaps to do. So I'll see how far I get this morning. Anyway, it's the KX026 Old Workshop we're building. Len Greenwood asked me if I could build one. I thought, well, might as well have a play really. So dig out an old kit and have a go and see how we get on. So I'm just going to get organised and I'll be back in 2 ticks when I can find the right thing to press. There we go. Is that better? No sound? Yes, got sound now. Sorry. Right, apologies for that. I'll start again. It's a long time since I've done this. Right, we're building this KX26. It's built from layered card. I can hear myself now, so that's right. That proves we've got sound. Built from layered card. Pretty straightforward, but lots of steps. There are, what have we got? 51 steps for this, and plus some optional bits. So I'm not sure how far we'll get this morning. We might get as far as perhaps, in fact, there's more than 50 odd steps. We might get as far as step 36, which is getting the main building together, I think. And then next week, we'll have to finish off the interior and all the rest. That's better. So we've got sound now. So sorry about that. And I'm also getting warm this morning. I'll take this off. Right. And it's a long time since I built this. I think I built one of these back in, when did we release it? 2014. So what's that? 7 years? 7 years ago since I built one of these. So it's going to be interesting. I may make some mistakes, and if I do, just bear with me. Okay, so the walls we're going to do first, which are made from 2 layers. We have 2 different heights of walls on this. The interior walls are taller than the exterior walls. The reason being that at some point, wherever the strips have gone, we will be putting, oh no, they're not strips, they're just pieces of paper. We put, I'm trying to think what I'm doing. We put guttering strips along the top of the shorter walls, wall B. So it'll make sense as we do it anyway. But I know quite a few people have asked questions when they bought the kit, why is that wall shorter than the others? It's because you have guttering strips across the top. So we're going to cover wall A, which is the interior, and wall B, which is the exterior. We're going to cover those in these pre-weathered texture wraps, which are there. So if you look at the wraps, they should go on one way up only, that is with the green algae and stuff at the bottom and the black dribbly stuff at the top. There you go. So we'll do those first. We're going to glue those on. I'm using Yoo-hoo to do that. These go on the outside walls. They're a little bit taller, and we just wrap the tops over to keep the tops nice and neat. And yeah, that's the first stage. So we're going to get that done quickly now and then see how we get on. But yeah, I'm also half asleep because I didn't get to bed till late last night because we were watching a film. So if I make mistakes, I'll blame part of it on being late to bed. So there we go. So Yoo-hoo, you can use Pritt Stick if you want. I just don't like Pritt Stick. Can't get on with the stuff. Yoo-hoo, I prefer. I just scribble all over the wrap. Could also scribble on the card if you wanted to. So plenty on, try and go sort of to the edges. And then we're going to get hopefully the right piece. So I'm doing wall B here, which I think is the exterior. It's the shorter ones there. All I'm doing is putting the wrap onto the sheet so that it sits hopefully nice and square with little or no glue hopefully on the front of it. Keep it all nice and clean. So I've just put a scribble of Yoo-hoo all over that and glued it onto layer B. So heard that? There we go. Terry the sandwich man's here now, so we've got to put up with a load of barking for the next couple of minutes. So always lets us know the sandwiches are here. He drives down the yard and pips his horn, and Lola goes nuts for a few seconds. Right, so I'm just putting the glue on this on the card. So you can put it on either. You can do card or the paper. It doesn't matter. I've just done it on the card this time. So scribbled all over it. If you can see what I've done there, just literally scribbled on it with the Yoo-hoo, and I'm going to put that on the other wrap on there. There we go. Okay, so that's 2 wall Bs done. Could have started with A's, doesn't matter. Just literally preparing those 2 walls there. Okay, now I'm going to do wall A. These are the interior walls. Same principle, but when we glue this on, we're going to put that on so that the cleaner piece of breeze block at the top sits at the top. Reason being, when you fold it over and you see that from the outside where the guttering is, it will show breeze block along the top of the wall when you glue this bit on the back. Yeah, so behind the guttering there will be a piece of clean breeze block, which would be just about right for prototypical appearance. So there we go, scribble on here again, more Yoo-hoo, and that's the side walls done. With any of these card kits, the bit that takes the longest is cutting out the wraps. Once you get the wraps done, the rest of it, the actual construction is pretty straightforward. And then the challenging piece on this kit is the, oh, here it goes again. It's just pipped his on again. The challenging bit with this kit is the beams in the roof, which we'll try and do. It's been a long time since I've done the beams in the roof. It's got I-beams and they're quite tricky because they're made of paper and lots of layers. When you cut the I-beams out, Teen, those ones, just cut them out as full sheets. So the whole grey sheet, and I'll cut it into strips afterwards, please. Okay, so that's wrapped that one. So what I'll do now is I'll use my finger along the edge of the card, smooth the card down, not card, smooth the paper down along the edge of the card behind it, just to give a nice sharp finish to the top, and then I'll put a bit of glue along under there. You getting all right? Now I'm using rocket card glue this week, just because it's better for working with card, but I don't know whether my glue's blocked actually. Tip's blocked, which is really useful. Check these things before you start doing a live presentation. That's better. There's a lot of people watching this morning, 120 people. Wow. I thought everybody would be watching the Backman announcements this morning. Right, I'm using rocket card glue, and I'm using one of our SMS tip ones, the short tips on this, only because if you use the bendy tip on the rocket card glue and it's warm in your modelling room like it is in here this morning, it tends to block up. So I'm doing the same thing as I normally do with the laser cut kit glue. I'm putting it in a pot of wet tissue. I'm missing all the comments here. I'm not reading the comments. So morning to everybody. Morning Bev, morning Mr. Scallywag, morning Nick, morning Jason. Well, loads of people. Morning, Andrew. Morning, David. Morning. And great to see everybody tuning in from all over the world, which is brilliant. It's nice and sunny down here as well today, so I'll be off out on a boat trip this afternoon, I think, while we've got family down. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully it'll be nice and calm. Morning, Edward. Yeah, so we're building this morning, we're building the KX026 Old Workshop. And it's suitable for stuff like, I don't know, a garage, farm workshop. Some people have used it as little bus depots, actually, independent, kind of middle of nowhere bus depots. There's one on the way to Newquay, which looks quite similar to it, on the main road. I can't think what the place is called, where it is. It will come to me perhaps in a minute, but it looks, these are all over the country, just standard, simple breeze block buildings. Okay, so the second inner wall is now wrapped there. I'm just using Rocket to glue this tab down because it's easy to work with because you've got a fine tip on it. So for smaller areas of wraps, just a little bit of Rocket on there. So AD57, the glue, Rocket card glue. It's a bit like super glue for card. I could use a laser cut kit glue, but you don't get as much in the pack as you do Rocket. So this is a bit more economical for this kind of kit. Tina's whizzing through these wraps. Absolutely whizzing through. Right. Okay. Now then, what we're going to do now, we've got those walls, is we're going to, do we glue them back to back yet? Now we're glue walls A and B back to back. Yeah, glue them back to back. Okay, so we're going to glue an exterior wall. I've got two people posting angry faces on here this morning. I've no idea why, but there you go. If you don't like watching it, don't watch it. I'm not bothered. It's fine. If you don't like watching it, why are you tuning in? So I'm not sure why the angry faces, but there you go. Going to glue this back to back now. That gives us a lip on the outside. Like I say, the reason being we're going to put the guttering across the top there. So I'm going to glue that, and we'll do that for both walls. And I'll put the glue on the back of the outside wall so I don't get too much and end up with it covering the bit where my guttering's going. In an ideal world, I've prepared everything beforehand and read the instructions through 2 or 3 times. So you'll have to bear with me while I go through everything. And I've just realised there's a bit for the guttering which I thought I hadn't got, but I have got it because I wondered what base layer L was for. I've just realised I've just read the instructions for doing the guttering, so that's all right. Okay, so we glued that on. You can see there's a lip at the top there. Lip across the top. Guttering's going on that. That's the inside of the building where we're going to glue some pillars. So do the same again with the side. Bit on here. Tar.
Excuse me.
I think everywhere seems to have a nice sunny day at the moment, which is good. Summer's back for a couple of days, perhaps. Although tomorrow's looking a bit wet, isn't it? Mm. Down here. Okay. Need to remember to put the lid on the Yoo-hoo every time I finish using it because it tends to just run out the end of the tube all over the cutting mat. So I like Yoo-hoo, pound a tube for a 60mm tube from the pound shop, so you can't go wrong with it. I've used it ever since I started building.
Do we have a flat ruler?
Yes, downstairs in the blue box. I think it's downstairs in the blue box. Come and grab it. I'm sure it's in there. Ended up in there by mistake because I took it with me on Saturday for no reason. Even though I didn't actually need it. Okay, so we've got 2 walls. So that's a bit of progress. Okay, now we're going to do the pillars. Lola thinks there's something to get excited about. Christina's ran downstairs to get the ruler. Okay, pillars are made up of pairs of these little card pieces here. So quite delicate, but again, not too bad to work with. Use rocket car glue on these just because it's quick and easy and less messy than the Yoo-hoo. And we just glue those together in stacks of 2. Hopefully she can find the ruler anyway. It was in there, in the blue box downstairs. With a bit of luck. And just glue those in pairs like that. Nearly done. Oops. Got it. Yeah. When I was getting ready to go out on, well, take the stuff on Friday, I took it downstairs for some reason. I meant to take something else downstairs and I took the ruler instead. No idea why. Okay. Should have 4 pillars done, and we can wrap the pillars and then we glue those onto the interior wall. Like I say, don't know how far we'll get with this. We'll do about an hour because we've got loads of things to get on with here today. So I'll do about an hour this morning, see how far we get, and then we've got 5 angry faces now. That's interesting. Like I say, if you don't like watching it, please do not watch. Why would you tune into something you're not interested in watching? I don't get it, to be honest. But anyway, whatever.
As we tell Elizabeth, you can't like everybody and not everybody likes you.
So that's right, exactly. If you enjoy watching these, then that's brilliant. If you don't enjoy them, fine, not a problem. I'm just having a go at building a card kit and show you how it's done. Oh, these are done, and this is my way, not the correct way necessarily. This is just how I do it. What I'm doing now is wrapping the pillars that are going on the inside of the building. So I'm just gluing these roughly centrally onto the back of the unprinted side of the wraps. So I've cut out, well, Tina's cut out the pillars, and we're just going to glue those on the back of there, look, like that. And in a minute, we shall rotate or turn them around, turn them over, and we'll fold the pieces over to completely cover them with breeze block wrap. So all this stuff comes pre-weathered, so you don't have to do any other extra painting and fiddling around or any extra weathering if you don't want to. You can, of course, apply other things. You can use weathering powders and bits and bobs and paint bits to give your model a completely unique appearance, but everything's pre-weathered, so you get a nice realistic finish. Hopefully straight from the pack, really. I'm just reading the things. Adger is on his boat going to Bever to get some creels. All right, well, brilliant. Just catching up with the comments here. Comments move really quick sometimes. I have a job trying to catch up. So Deltic Dave says, who's doing that? I have no idea. But anyway, if you're not keen on watching these film videos, don't tune in. It's like Chris Moyle says on the radio. People complain about not liking Chris Moyles, yet they listen to him. So if you don't like Chris Moyles, why do you listen? It's a bit weird. And I've got no problem. Not everybody's going to like what we do, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, there we go. Fiddly bit now. Got to wrap these round. Oh, seven angry faces now, even better. Well, we're clocking them up today. It's like I say, you know, whatever. It's interesting. Lots of likes and hearts or whatever they're called. Love emojis coming through anyway, so I'm happy. I'm enjoying this, and That's all that matters. And hopefully a few of you are, so that's all right. Okay, so we're just wrapping that now. So this is a little bit kind of, we've got 8 now, clocking them up. I take it somebody's having fun this morning. Okay, just wrapping this round, 9 now. Okay, so we're just wrapping this, covering this up. This is a little bit fiddly, but it's worth the effort because when we glue these on, it'll give the wall some extra dynamics. Okay, so that's that one done. That's one. So just pre-bend the wrap a little bit first. Just helps it a bit better. Somebody's just turned up at the unit and Lola's having a bark. Right, Lola, thank you. The delivery or collection, we must try and get into the habit of leaving Lola at home on a Wednesday. Okay, so just doing the other one. I'm just pre-bending these wraps a little bit, just makes them, or gives them a neater, cleaner finish. But they are a little fiddly on these ones, but not too bad. There we go. Second one, second pillar done. Nice breeze block finish. 2 more to go. And we start putting some, well, the building starts to take on a bit of shape then, hopefully. Although we've got the guttering to do, which is again similar to this, a little bit fiddly to do, but worth the effort, I think, because it just gives it that extra bit of detail when it's complete. Okay, so run that, run some glue down there again. Tina's really got most of the wraps done, actually. I don't need all the what's it sheets doing. I can do those because the kit comes with lots of extra sheets of timber and steel and rusty steel and stuff like that, which you can use to detail the building. But I'll cut a few of those out when we've actually got the building built, just to detail the final scene. But for the moment, I only need the main building wraps to keep us going for the moment. Okay, one last one. So watching these being wrapped isn't the most exciting of activities, but it does add extra dynamics to the building rather than just being flat interior walls. They're nice and they've got a bit of interest to them. And as you'll see with the marks and stuff on the walls, there's paint dribbles and splashes and stuff on there, oil stains and other bits and bobs. When these go on, it adds extra dynamic, and then you put the workbench and things like that in there as well. It just looks pretty realistic, and you haven't got to do anything with it at all to add any realism. It's ready to go. Tim Delahaye did an amazing diorama with this a few years ago, actually, and he's taken a picture. I don't know how he did it, actually. It looked like he got dry ice in there. It looked like there was a car running. He got it built as an automotive workshop, and it looked like the car was running with an exhaust fumes and stuff coming out the back. It looked fantastic. How he did it, not sure. How he took the photo, but it looked really good. If you want to have a look at that, it's on his Railway Modelers Club profile. I think he's posted it in the group on Facebook as well. Okay, so we've got 4 pillars. Now we're going to glue the pillars down the middle of this, or down the centre of these marked places on here, which gives us a little bit of interest to the wall. Try and get them lined up nicely so that the mortar lines kind of work. This one, get them the right way around so that the dirt on the pillars matches the dirt on the walls as well. Okay, this one, so you can see, starts to add a bit of dynamics to the wall. There we go. Yeah, what I might do, I've just noticed Nick has said he could do with something like this for a boat builder's hut. Now, this would work quite well. It would also look really nice in a wooden wrap. I may look at having a go at doing some wooden wraps for this because it look really smart. There's a boat builder's down in Meva, which is part breeze block and part wood, and that would look really smart. Obviously, because you can do your own thing with these, you can wrap them in whatever you want. You don't have to use our wraps. You can use the base layers and as the main parts for construction and wrap them in whatever you like. So there we go, one last one to put on this. And then that's the main wall parts done, which takes us up to step 11 done. So that's step 11 done out of however many, 50 something. So that's that. So we've got 2 walls. It took a while to do, but I think you'll agree with the detail and stuff on there. It looks pretty smart actually. It just saves painting and colouring and all that. So they're done. So that's those. Right, now I need 11 and I need the guttering. Could you cut me those 2 out, please? Okay, we're going to do the guttering in a second. I'm just going to get my bearings for the next stage. Once we've put that on, what I'll do while I'm waiting is I'm going to cut the rear wall wrap out. I'll cut the doors in out. I'll just whisk across those so that these are ready to put on the rear wall wrap. And we could actually rear wall itself, not rear wall wrap. That's what I'm working with now, you Wally. What I might do while Tina cuts the guttering out is I'll skip forward a couple of steps to the rear wall and do that. Okay, so what I've done there is cut the doorway flaps so they're ready to fold round on the rear wall. Rear wall is G, parts G, and you see they're handed because one's interior and one's exterior. So that's that one, and the interior, the interior wall has a notch in the top for where the I-beam will go. So we can glue those onto there now. Right. Just gonna okay, so G, wall G, excuse the dog. Must be a visitor. Okay, so that same principle again. Scribble on the card base there with glue. I'm going to fold the corners around it or the edges around in a minute. Excuse the dog, she will be quiet in a minute.
Sit. No. Sit.
Okay, so lots of scribbling with Yoo-hoo on those texture papers there. And then this one should glue nice and neatly up onto here, like that. So that's the outer inner wall, that's the outer wall. Okay, so what we're going to do now is fold the ends over on these, and then rather cunningly we'll end up with hopefully what looks like drain pipes on the finished model. So we put a tiny bit of glue on there, just rock it again for the tabs because it's easy to work with. Just excuse her, she's not happy. There's a visitor downstairs, I think, so she's having a bit of a moan about it. Okay, so that on the end of there gives us the appearance of a drain pipe when that's done, you see. So it just gives us just enough of a hint to look like a black drain pipe. Okay. And then we're going to do the same again on the other side. Fold that round. And same again, drain pipe has appeared there. And then we'll do this one. Same principle. Tiny bits of glue. Fold that one round again. And the idea with this folding round of the textures is that once it's finished, there'll be no visible cut card edges. There may be the odd visible paper edge, but a paper edge is much thinner than a card edge. So that's the idea there, is that once it's done, it should look pretty realistic. So the idea here is when that goes on there, like that, this will be our outer wall there. And then we'll have just inside, or just a little bit further back from the outer wall, will be the drain pipe, and then we'll have the main wall, which will sit along there with the guttering on, and we'll have what looks like a half decent building. Okay, with no, like I say, no visible cut card edges, which gives it the edge over just working with flat card that's not been wrapped. Okay, these tabs are a little fiddly to do, but worth taking your time. Just use your finger to roll the edge over, and then do the same with the others. Top one's a bit easier because you can pull them tight, whereas the other ones you can't get hold of very easily. But it's the same thing. Just fold that over. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we just folded those tabs back there on the door. So now we've got a nice neat doorway there. So we do the same on this one now. And then we can glue the two together, and we can glue the door in as well. Yeah. So we'll do this one. In fact, I'll use the tweezers just to give me a sharper edge on this. There. There. Right, okay, so that's the two pieces done there. Now what we're going to do is cut the rear door out, and then we can cut out rear doors required and glue back to back. Okay, so rear doors, which Tina's doing at the moment, so we'll go back to that in a minute. So we can we're going to switch now and do these here gutterings. Now, guttering strip, simple piece of flat paper printed in sort of mottled black and rust and stuff. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold this down the middle gently and sort of roughly. Now what we do now is we'll glue this along the edge of here, like that. That will give us a length of guttering that we can use to make our guttering strip for the top of the walls. So we're going to put some Yoo-hoo on the back of here. It doesn't matter too much about getting it on whether you cover the white bits, the unprinted piece. You want to make sure there's glue on the back of all of the black stuff. So that's what matters. Like that. And then we will put that onto there. And we have, hopefully, a piece of guttering. That will form a guttering, won't it, when we trim that off. So I'm going to fold this down here, same again, so fold it in half. This is something that people get stuck with quite a bit on this kit and the pub, but it's actually really straightforward when you see how it's done. Literally fold that down the middle, and glue this on the edge here again, and then when the glue's set, all we do is trim off a piece as wide as we want, and you've got a bit of guttering. It's really easy. Apologies for not keeping an eye on the comments this morning, because Tina's been busy doing the job that I should have done, cutting all my bits out yesterday. So she's not been able to look at the comments, which she's now doing for me. Yeah, apologies for it being a silent movie for a start as well. Yeah, I need to get more sleep. Okay, 2 bits of guttering done. So I'll leave that now for a few minutes to dry while I sort the doors out. So we've got a couple of choices of doors. They're just ever so subtly different. Okay, you've got one there with a bit of graffiti on, which I quite like, so I might go for that one. And then I think we'll go for the graffiti, and we'll go for a fairly plain, inner door. So we'll have those 2, I think. How are we doing? Does the printed, sorry.
Go on.
No, you read it out. You read it out. Go on.
Does the printed paper have a shine to it?
It does a little bit. That's because of the printing technology. It does have a little bit of a shine, particularly where there's a lot of toner. The breeze block, you can get away with. There's very little shine on that. There's a bit, you can see there, but the doors, where there's more toner, it's slightly shinier there. But you can use Halford's matte lacquer. That will get rid of it in a millisecond. That's all you need. A little bit of a spray with that. Job done.
Are the card parts pre-cut?
They are indeed, yes. They're pre-cut. They're all done. They all come in sprues like that. Yep, really easy. They'll sort of pop out. Use a knife. Don't just rip them out. But yeah, they're all pre-cut, so they're really easy to work with. Yeah. The only thing that's not pre-cut are the wraps, but it's worth the effort, I think, to create a building which is pretty darn good. Right, this is the tricky bit now, is gluing this door up behind here. Just need to make sure I line up the door frame and everything with the door aperture. There we go. Or reveal, not aperture, door reveal. So that's the door gone in place. That's literally just a bit of paper. Should be on there. Yep.
Clyde Station's asked why I don't have a go at building something.
You can have a go at building something. Why not? That can be next week's. You can do the brute trolleys that I've been working on. I was doing yesterday. Little trolleys. You can do them next week.
Right, okay.
They're like the, what's it, LX263s, only slightly bigger.
Right.
Yeah, the pallet cages.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on them yesterday. So you can have a go with those. Okay, the door in. So we should now have door which lines up lovely. Okay, so the door's gone into place. There we go. Got some graffiti on the door. Looks brilliant, I think. Looks really nice. Well, nice as graffiti can look. Nice as in it looks realistic, is what I'd say. No idea what it says on there.
Tom Loud has asked whether you're any further on with the longer farm trailers with twin axles.
To be brutally honest, no, not yet. I've not forgotten about them, but I've not made any progress on them yet. But I will crack on again. We've had family down and stuff like that, and I'm not making excuses, but we've had a lot going on down here, so we're I've not been at my desk as much as I should, or would like to be, not necessarily should be, but as much as I'd like to be. But I'm on the case, not forgotten. There we go, loads of scribbling with Yoo-hoo. I'm going to glue that onto there now, and we have a rear wall which is about done. There we go. So you see, this takes time to do this, but I think it's worth the effort. Once this starts to come together as a building, I think you'll see that the all the extra work with the various parts is well worth the effort. Okay, so I need to do just leave the guttering a bit longer to go off. I'm going to wrap the tops of these the back and front walls now as well. In fact, no, we'll do the front wall next. Front wall, cut out the end walls, glue together in a stack of 3, cut out the end wall, basically E, yeah, and then F. Right, okay, it's the same principle. We need a stack of 3 E's this time. The front wall is slightly thicker just because it's more visible, so we've made it, given an extra bit of thickness compared to the rear wall. So same principle.
Yeah. That's the one thing the current 10 agreed to a size, 28 is and below or whatever. Still.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
There we go, Lola's off again. Shh, please, Lola, be quiet. Okay, so we're gluing this parts E into a stack of 3 now.
David Mason's asked whether Lola's named after the Kinks record.
I have no idea. Her name was Lola when she came from the, what's it, wasn't it? When she came from the Dogs Trust. So I honestly don't know. Just getting my head around what I'm doing here. So that's a wrap for F and that's a wrap for E. That's right, F has that one thing. Right, okay, that's right. Confusing myself here. Yeah, Lola came from the Dogs Trust, so I'm really not sure how she was named. It could be Charlie and Lola as well, because the kids thing, I think the people that had her before us, original owners, I think, had young kids, so she could be named after Charlie and Lola probably. Okay, so the front wall, base layers, and we're going to glue that wrap onto there, and we're going to wrap that round, which gives us a nice front for the building. Then we've got, again, similar principle with the drain pipes, down pipes. Okay, so we're going to glue this one. Bit of glue on here again.
Roger's asked what happened to the layout in a box that we're building for the MR show in Meva.
It's on pause at the moment. The show in Meva didn't happen due to COVID. And then it's sat over there waiting for me to get on with some bridges, which I will do as soon as I possibly can. It's waiting for a couple of bridges to go either end. It's just paused at the moment, and we'll get back to it. It'll be done this winter or this autumn, hopefully. But due to the restrictions changing and things, it was supposed to be whenever they delayed some easing of something, didn't they? So it was when the restriction easing was delayed. Paul at the Mevagissey Model Railway decided to press pause on the celebrations.
David's asked how come you're using one glue for one bit and the other glue for the other.
This rocket card glue tends to make the paper too wet when you're working on a large area. So I use rocket for the smaller pieces, like just folding these tabs and stuff like that round. And I use Yoo-hoo for the larger areas because it doesn't make the paper go all wrinkly, and it works really well when it's gone tacky. You can just fold the corners around, or fold the bits around, or smooth the wraps on, and it just lies nice and flat. Whereas rocket is a bit like using PPA. It tends to make the paper go all wobbly and wrinkly.
Neil's asked a little while ago, I asked Dylan whether the cattle grid could be a possibility in the future. Any thoughts or chance?
Yeah, cattle grid is on my radar very soon, very soon. I have drawings. I just need to test, cut, and do it. I'm not sure whether to do it with little fences and bits and bobs at the side, so it kind of comes with some accessories. But, I'm on the case. Okay. Yeah, apologies for Lola barking. I can't do a lot about the dog really. She's normally quiet, but we had a visitor come, I think, downstairs who Kate's been looking after. So Lola had a bit of a protest. What I'll do on the inner ones is I'm just going to pre-fold these so we get a sharper edge. If we pose the doors so they're open, we'll get nice sharp corners on things. Okay. I tend to bring the stuff too far here and you can't see what I'm doing. So I apologise for that. I need to concentrate more. Okay. Fold these round. That's not a bad bit of progress so far this morning. We might just about get as far as gluing the frame or the main walls of the building together, perhaps. In fact, I might do that next, then I can add the top sections to the outer walls later on, or next week we can do those. What I'll try and do is prepare a few more bits for next week in advance if I can.
There's as many angry faces as you saw.
Oh, fine, fair enough. Sorry, Tina's just told me something that's this. Anyway, that's quite
Well, no, you can say there aren't as many angry faces as you thought.
There aren't as many angry faces as I thought, which is it's confusing actually. When you look at the things, stuff comes up on, we use StreamYard to do the broadcasting, and stuff comes up on there and it just tells you how many reactions there are of certain things, but it highlights certain ones, but it does it in a weird way. Anyway, so I'll shut up about that. Right, there we go. We've got a front wall now. You can see we've got hinge fixing pieces there, whatever you call them. Don't know what they're called, but anyway, hinge bits. We've got a rear wall. I'm just going to do this one now, which gives us the appearance of the downpipes on this one. Then we can probably try and start to glue the main frame of the building together, or the main structure of the building together. I'll then add the tops to each of the end walls, and we'll have the main building done this week. And then next week it'll be the roof and the I-beams and adding the doors and detailing. I think that'll probably take us up to about an hour, won't it? I think. Can't really force you to watch any longer than this because it'll drive you mad. I've got a load of stuff I need to take care of as well. So I think it's probably better to split it into two parts. And then we can all go off and have a cup of coffee and enjoy the sunshine and come back next week. So there we go. So that's on there. Just going to fold these edges round. I'll pre-fold them again so they're nice and sharp. I should have pre-folded the ones on the outside of one of those because that one I'm not 100% happy with. Doesn't look bad at all, but I'm just not 100% happy with it. Pre-folding it just gives you a nice sharp edge. Then when you put the glue on it, it looks nice and neat. There we go, there we go. This one.
Quite a few people are saying it's no problem with Lola barking.
Oh, I know. She's a lovely dog. She's a lovely dog. She's just having a bit of a say. She likes to let us know there's somebody different in the building. That's the thing. She likes to just have a bit of a chunter.
Alan Robertson says all the stages are of interest and you never know when a good idea comes up that you've not thought about.
True. I quite enjoy building these actually. They're quite therapeutic. There's just a lot of stages, and because I've not built it since 2014, I've got to I'm thinking on my feet here, trying to remember what I do. The instructions are okay. It's just that I tend to jump ahead sometimes. Right, fold that one and fold that one. You can score as well. You can also score very gently if you get the knife and just run your knife really, really gently. I'm literally using the weight of the knife, not putting any pressure at all on, down the side of that. And I'm doing it on the unprinted side so I don't cut through the printing, otherwise you'll affect the quality of the printing. I'm just scored up against the cardboard. Like I say, just the weight of the knife. I'm not putting any pressure at all on there. A couple of scores, and that gives you a crisp edge as well. Obviously, if your knife is incredibly sharp, scalpel type thing, you run the risk of cutting all the way through. So my knife's, what do you say? I'm trying to think of something. Anyway, blunt as I don't know what. So the risk of me cutting through is quite remote. Right, there we go. So same principle with this one. Glue that on there, and we'll end up with something that hopefully looks like a downpipe. Okay, so I'll glue this on. I'll use rocket car glue for this. The reason being that U-Hoo can sometimes affect the print, and I don't want to affect the print on anything by mistake. Now I'm gluing layers together here and wrapped layers, so I'm just going to use rocket car glue for these pieces. There, like that.
Neil Drive says, any chance of doing LX446 access platforms in N-gauge?
Yes, I'll give it a go. I'll cut them and then I'll send them to Michael in the Railway Modelers Club, because he said he would have a go at building anything we wanted in N-gauge for me, because he's really, really good. I'll get him to do it. I've just noticed I've not cut the top of this out, so I need to just cut the little tab out at the top there, because I need to put the I-beam in like a plonker. I need a sharper knife. When you build these, read the instructions, because it tells you to cut the top out before you put the glue the two pieces together.
Deltic Dave says about using the end of the biro for scoring.
Yeah, I've got one somewhere. Empty biro, blooming genius that is. It's really good for scoring. Yeah, empty biro.
And Simon Cox says that he turns his scalpel upside down to score lines.
Oh yeah. Good thinking. Good thinking, Simon. Yeah, very true, very true. How clever. Brilliant. Good tip, that. And yes, the as Dave says, the empty biro, it's brilliant. Works a treat. Just any old biro, just take the ink out the middle, pull the ink tube out, scribble all over a piece of paper until it runs out, and you've got yourself a scoring tool. Right, what I've done, I've just cut out, which I should have done beforehand, which I didn't do. I've just removed the pieces at the top there where the I-beams are going to go. So I've done that. Right, quickly, we're going to go and cut, without cutting my fingers off, I'm going to try and measure 3mm strip of guttering. I'm just going to mark it with a knife. You see my hands are shaking a lot this morning. When I'm not on camera, I don't shake. And as soon as I come in the air, I'm all over the place. There we go. Oh, really bad. Oh dear. Right. I've marked that one. Goodness me. Right. Have we got plasters upstairs or are they downstairs? Just in case it all goes pear-shaped now. Okay, we're going to cut a 3mm strip. Yes, I've got my safety ruler. It's over on the other desk, just to my left. But I'm just using this for now. I'm going through with lots of scores because I want a nice, neat finish. I don't want to rush it. I think we're nearly there.
Andrew Finney's asked, you've still not bought the magnifier?
I haven't, no, and I got told off by my mum the other day because I've not booked an appointment at Vision Express either. For my glasses, I need to do that because I've been banging on about my mum getting hearing aids, and she's got hearing aids now, and she can now hear way better. which is brilliant. And then she says, have you been and booked your glasses yet? I went, no. She says, well, I've got my hearing aids, so you need to get your glasses. And she's right, I do. I suffer with an issue. I've got a lazy eye, which is a subject of much Mickey taking at certain times by certain people. I have a lazy left eye. And it causes problems. As I get older, it's getting worse because it causes problems with slight double vision. When I'm working, don't worry, when I'm driving, I'm fine. I can see stuff a long way away or in the distance brilliantly. But when I'm working on really close-up stuff, I have to concentrate really hard because I see more than one of certain things. And it's not because of anything I've consumed or smoked or anything like that. It's purely lazy eye, and my left eye pulls in, and it's really weird because I see.
Show you safety ruler.
Safety ruler. There we go. Safety ruler. Brilliant. That's what it is. It's a triangular doodah. I can't remember who bought this for me. One of you wonderful viewers bought this for me. I can't remember your name now. I've got the email when you originally said you'd ordered me one. I do thank you so much for this because it's really good. It's also a scale ruler as well, so it's got multiple scales in there, which is really good. It doesn't have 00 on, but it's got 1/50th and things like that, which is handy for certain types of modelling. Yeah, so that's it. Safety ruler. The idea being you hold the top, so you're holding that all the time, and you're way out the way of the blade when you're cutting. So it's brilliant, really good. So thank you to the chap that ordered that for me because it's flipping brilliant. It saved my fingertips. Okay, what we've got now is we've got some pieces of guttering. I just need to trim off the ends, the unprinted or unwrapped pieces from the end look, like that. So I just trim that off with my knife, sharp knife, not the blunt one. There we go, trim both of them off. Yeah, both of those off proper. If Elizabeth was here, she'd have me for that, being the English professor. Right, then we're going to glue the guttering along the top of this bit there. So we've got a ledge on there, I showed you before. Okay, so I'm going to run some rocket down that ledge. Like so. Let it soak in a little bit, so we've got plenty on there. And then we're going to take our guttering strip and we're going to hold that in place at the top there. It's not curved guttering, I know, but from a point of view of an artistic representation of some guttering at the top of a wall, it looks spot on. So there, we've just glued that guttering in. Get it as straight as I can. There, so we've just glued that strip across the top there, which gives us the appearance of guttering now. I'll do the same again, the other one. Yep.
BR Blues has just said that the safety rulers can dig into your fingers after a while, so I use a piece of foam over one edge.
Ah, clever.
That's something I did find using the safety ruler.
Yeah, it is because it's pointy at the top, yeah. Good one, Tim. That's Tim Delahaye. BR Blues. BR Blues is Tim Delahaye. Right. Yeah. So morning, Tim, and thank you for that. That's a good one because yes, it is. It just needs something along the top. I nearly got this one in place. Yeah, Tim is the chap. BR Blues is the chap that did the fantastic diorama with this kit with the what I say looks like dry ice. If you're still watching, Tim, how did you do the dry ice effect? What was that? Or did you do it with your? Did you vape or something and blow it out? I'm trying to think how it could have been done. It's like there was a vape or something in the building or a ultrasonic atomizer type thing. You know, like your thing you've got for sense and that. Right, let's glue that on. So we now have on what? Sorry, Tim. Okay, end wall's done, side wall's done. Just got to do the upper ones, but we can do them later. I think we'll do those next week. We've got 1 minute to go or so before we've done an hour. So I think what we'll do now is we'll quickly, without rushing too much, we'll start and get the building glued together.
Digger Evans has said that the head magnifiers are good because you can wear them over your specs.
Oh, that'll be even better when I've got specs in, won't it? Yeah, I'll have to get one. I'll have to get one ordered because this is frustrating sometimes.
Andrew says not to put batteries in the head magnifier as they can give you nose ache with the weight.
Oh, right. Oh, for the lamps, because they have lamp things, don't they? Yeah, true. I hope you can't hear my belly rumbling. I've just got really hungry.
VR Blues has said he used a smoke machine piped through a small bore pipe.
Very clever. It looked really, really good in the picture. It was absolutely fantastic because it looked like there was a car with a very smoky exhaust in there. It looked absolutely brilliant in the picture, really atmospheric.
He's fitting it to the whole layout in some chimneys, etc.
Clever. Right, so what we do now is just trying to glue this at right angles as best we can on here. So I'll put the first wall on. Once this wall's on, I can stand it up and we can glue the rest of the walls together using the lines of the cutting mat to give us the correct alignment. So just put rocket car glue on the end. I've used rocket again for the end of this because it's nice and neat and you just get the glue exactly where you want it rather than all over the place with Yoo-hoo. Okay, so the first part of the building is done there. What I will do is run a little tiny bit of glue up the inside corner of this building just to give a little extra strength there. And now I'll put some more on here. So I'm just covering the end of the card, the open end of the card. There, so the bit that's not been printed on is going to be covered in glue. And then we're going to try and line that up.
Clive Ward said that he finds that he can use his magnifiers without his, having to wear his glasses.
Oh, right. I suppose it depends on your prescription for your glasses and stuff like that, doesn't it? Depends on how you're trying to make sure I've got this in the right place here. Oops.
Chris Bush has said, where's your corner jig?
It's here. Yeah. In fact, what I could do on this one, could use the outside of it. And the only thing here is what I might need to do is move that outside wall there because that wasn't quite in the right place. I'll take that one off for a minute. Now so the jig's great, but because you've got these inner pillars, I'll move that forward a bit so you can see it better. The inner pillars, you've got to take into account the pillars when you're using the jig. Now what I've done there was glued that a bit too far in, so I'm just going to move it a little bit. The wraps are forgiving enough to let you kind of remove the part and glue it back on again within a minute or two. That's better. You can hear my chair creaking. There, that's better. And do the other one, so glue down the other ends. I think what I'll do is I'll leave it to set and we'll come back next week and we'll do the roof.
Thomas Finney. Andrew Finney has said that his magnifier has 5 different diopter lenses.
Hang on. Cool. I'll have to get one. Right, making sure I'm putting this on the right way round. I want the white bit at the top here on the outside of the building because we're going to glue a top piece to the building which will have asbestos or cement board or whatever you want to call it, an asbestos, corrugated asbestos effect to it. Okay, I think we are probably
BR Blues has said you can buy ×4 specs at supermarkets and use a lightweight head torch.
True. I'll have to have a look. In fact, I'll have to have a look at them really when we go to a supermarket and have a look. I'll have to have a play and see if they're any better.
You maybe just need a pair of what's it?
Reading glasses.
Yeah.
I'll have to have a look, won't I? Right, there we go. So that's the main bit of the building. It will, obviously, it's a bit floppy at the moment. I've just got to wait for the glue to go off. Once the glue's gone off, over the next 10-15 minutes, it'll be nice and sturdy. And also we have a base for it, which we can put it on there, which we can wrap. We've got a concrete wrap in the kit. So we'll do that at some point, but I won't do that until we put the roof on, because we need to turn the building upside down to put the I-beams and roof panels and stuff like that on. So there we go. That is the first part one of our old workshop kit build. There, hopefully it wasn't too bad. There's a lot. These are a lot more involved than the other laser cut kits, the laser board stuff, because of all the wraps and things. But it's worth it, because if you look at this, there's no visible, apart from on the roof so far, there's no visible cut card edges on that. You're just gonna, at the moment, you've got these ones, but when we put the roof on, there'll be nothing. It'll all be wrapped, and it'll look really smart. The roof's got a nice corrugated asbestos roof. Wrap. We've got fully weathered and dribbly, sort of mucky, horrible doors and stuff like that to go on. We've got various other bits and bobs. We've got the I-beams, which are rusty blue painted things, loads of other detail. So that's about an hour, about 2 hour build, I think, then in total. We should be done this next week. And we've also got some, shall we say, page 3 ladies and other bits and bobs that can go in on the tool cupboard doors and things like that if you want. But yeah, so we've got the rest of these are the base layers. We've got the sign and other things, door base layers, roof base layers, and then walls. These end walls we've got to wrap, so we'll do those next week. I shall make sure everything is kept nice and tidy, cut the rest of the stuff out so we're not faffing about next week doing it while you're watching, and it should go together nice and quick. But there we go. That's part 1 of the KX026 Old Workshop. Not looking too bad. So thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic week. I'm going to get some work done, really. I've got to go and build these, cut and build the brute trolleys, see if I can get those done this week, and a number of other things. And then we've got a boat trip later on this evening with family. So have a wonderful day. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe and all that. Enjoy the sun. See you next week. Ta-da.